And this is to show the absurdity within Christianity. You really believe that God was contained by a woman's womb and that God lived for 30 years and at the end of his
Yeah,
life, he
that's
had
a
3
miracle,
years.
dude. It's a
Kyrios, shut
miracle
up.
of
Shut
Christianity.
up, dude. Shut up, dude. You're a blasphemer as well. You guys are all breeding blasphemers. Okay? Now, the thing is, I speak to Christians on a day-to-day basis. Alhamdulillah, a lot of Christians come to Islam. Alhamdulillah, Agatho, no one's coming to Christianity with you. You're one of the most disgusting,
Ooh.
filthy individuals on this app, right? And you're over here trying to virtue signal, brother. Don't even try. All right, save us the little banter. Okay, so I said that yes, according to your gospels, Jesus got sexually harassed.
I
Is there
didn't
an
ask
argument to
according to the
retort
gospel.
against
I
that?
asked, do you say, by the way, I quoted you in the side chat.
I
When
don't
it says
recall.
that God makes sport with Leviathan, does the term sport mean rape? According to you, that's a false
So
equivocation.
wait,
But
okay,
is
I
that
got
what
Oh.
you're
you. Wait,
saying?
wait, 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 wait. Hell no, it doesn't. But if
Thank
we're
you.
talking
And
about,
so
but if we're
sport doesn't
talking
mean
about,
it. Thank
wait, I
you.
got you.
Thank you for the
But if we're
concession.
talking about, just let me
In a
finish. If we're
conversation.
talking about,
Sport
yeah,
doesn't mean
Agatha,
rape.
if I was to say that there's a woman in the street and she got stripped naked, right, and she got humiliated and she was being pushed around and she was being dragged, right, and we know that historically the Romans were sodomizing a multitude of their victims. That's
No,
nothing
there's
out of
no
the.
evidence of that.
Oh,
There's
I
no
got
evidence
you.
of
I
that.
got you. He said that there's no evidence.
No
Someone
evidence
recorded
of
him.
that.
Yo, Ghostwriter, make sure you're recording this. He said that
Yeah.
there's no
No
evidence that
evidence that
historically.
anybody
He said that
sodomized
there's no
anybody.
evidence.
Because if
There's no
according to this
evidence.
same claim, that means that the person you believe that replaced Jesus Christ on the cross was sodomized and God commanded it. You believe that?
No, I don't believe. Wait, first
Oh,
of all, I don't have to
oh, the
hold up. Wait, I
Hawari
don't even have
didn't
to
get
uphold.
sodomized? The
Stop
Hawari
interrupting.
didn't get sodomized?
Wait, I don't have to uphold substitution
Does the
theory, right?
Hawari get sodomized?
Wait, according to the tafsir, no.
No. According to
According to the
history,
tafsir,
if
no.
he's the one that was crucified, he was sodomized and Allah
I got
wanted
you.
it.
So he's
Allahu
moving. So I got you. I
Akbar.
got you. We're
God
gonna go from one step
forbid
to
that's what you're
another.
claiming.
We're gonna go from one step to
My
another. Okay.
gosh.
This is very simple. This is very, very easy. Very, very simple.
Simple.
So
Yes or no? Was the Hawari raped on the
wait,
cross?
I said I don't hold to that theory. You know how many theories are propounded by the
Okay,
early
so did
Mufassirin
Jesus
pertaining to
swoon on the
the.
cross? Did
Okay.
Jesus swoon on the cross
Right.
after he
So
got
do you
raped
know
according
what?
to
Do you
you?
know what? I got you. Do you know what the illusionary theory is? All right, pertaining
Illusion.
to
So it merely appeared.
beautiful.
Really?
Yes, it merely
So who
appeared to
was
the
on the
whole.
cross then?
There doesn't have
Who
to.
was on the cross?
That's an improper question. There doesn't have to be a who.
What do you
I can
mean?
quote.
What do you
I can
mean?
quote
There's
what?
blood.
Let me finish. Let me finish, dude. Stop getting all antsy. It's very simple, Agatho. I'll tear you apart on this topic. Just be patient.
Does Ibn
Okay?
Abbas
I
say it was
can
an
quote.
illusion?
I'm finishing. I can quote Wahb bin
Does Ibn
Munabbih.
Abbas say it was an illusion?
Can I
Wahib
finish?
ibn
Can I
Munabbih
finish? Can I finish?
is
Yeah,
not a
Wahb.
Sahabi.
Wait. He's someone who's directly connected to Ibn Abbas, ya Jahil. He's
He
someone who
doesn't
learned.
quote
He's a
Ibn
Yemenite
Abbas.
Jew who converted to Islam, and
He
he has
wasn't a Jew.
better
Hold on. That just
traditions
shows how
pertaining
stupid you
to a
are. Wahib
Yemenite
ibn
Jew who
Munabbih was a
converted to
convert from,
Islam.
quote,
Brother, oh my
Christianity. He
gosh, oh
quoted
my
from,
gosh.
quote, Christianity. He didn't quote from
At
Judaism.
this point, I'm going to stop you. You're water damaging your mic because of how much you're spitting, dude. Calm down. Okay? He keeps interrupting every single 2 seconds. This guy can't control himself,
Shit.
brother. He's erratic. Yeah. You know, Jesus' blood got you moving like this or what, dude? It's not even Sunday. So it's very simple. We have within historical literature, we have from the Mufassirin, brother, I'll tear you apart on the crucifixion topic. I'll tear you apart. I just want it to be recorded, all right? So I can make good use of you. So it's very simple. Historically, I have from the Mufassirin for Wahb bin Munabbih, in which he says what? In which he says that something appeared so to be crucified, but it's not necessarily substitution theory. I don't have to hold to substitution theory. Substitution theory is a theory propounded by the Mufassirin, but even then, even if I was to say that one from the Hawariyun was abused in the sense in which he was stripped naked, in which he was put on the cross, in which he was abused and tortured and disfigured and dishonored by the kuffar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have him in paradise according to that opinion from the Mufassirin. Now you're telling me God got sexually harassed. Big difference, Buster. You believe that Noah got violated according to the Old Testament when his sons took off the blanket from him and showed his nakedness. Yo, Kyrillos, I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna have to ban you. You keep spam tagging me, and you're too young for this app, dude. And you were begging me to not have any Muslims dox you after you stupidly gave them your dox. So kick rocks. Okay, so it's very simple. See, these Christians are coming to me, they're begging me for help, and they keep spam tagging me. And this guy's trying to call me on a day-to-day basis. Agatho, deal with your Christian brethren. They're all obsessed with me. They all want answers from me. They all want arguments from me. They all want my attention. Deal with them. Okay, but it's very simple. So to quote the opinion from Wahb bin Munabbih, I'll just put it within the side chat. Okay, and let's see if Agatho can start answering questions because he's asked me a multitude of questions. But here's Wahb, according to Tafsir al-Tabari. Here. On the left side, you see two theories that are correlative to him. One is substitution theory. The other, there's no one who was substituted. So we're going to read this in the side chat, Agatho. Behave and we can have a productive
Allahu Akbar.
conversation.
هذا كتاب
Okay?
من المفسرين.
Can you stop
So,
This English
marrying
text
kids,
is from
please,
المفسرين.
guys? Can you not
okay.
marry kids?
Yeah,
That
just
text
ban
from
that guy.
المفسرين.
Okay. So Well, Wahb bin
Is
Munabbih,
been
I can take him as one who has strong
Wahab,
Israeliyat tradition.
Wahab, Wahab.
Wahb bin Munabbih. Yes. So look in
You
the
can't
side
even
chat.
pronounce his name in
So it says,
Arabic.
then they brought him to the tree upon which they wanted to crucify him. But God lifted him up to himself, and they crucified what was made to appear similar to them. It's not a person. Substitution theories to the right. It's not a person, rather, but God lifted him up to himself, and they crucified what was made to appear similar to them. He remained 7 hours, and then his mother and the woman came to weep. But Jesus came and said, God has
Wait,
lifted me up to
who
himself,
remained
and
seven
this is
hours?
merely something which was made to appear similar to them. What?
Who remained 7 hours on the cross?
Who remained 7 hours on the cross? That's according to one opinion, right? That's according to one opinion. Something could
You
have
didn't answer
remained.
my
Wait, it's either
question.
wait. I said that's one opinion that it could have been a person. There's
Can
another
you
opinion that it
answer
could have
the
been some sort of.
question? Who
Stop freaking
remained
out,
on the
brother.
cross?
But your question is built off a false premise. You're saying
My question is
who
based on what you
when,
just read.
brother. No, no,
Bro,
because
are you
there's no who. Wait,
retarded?
there's
It
no
said
who.
it was
It's
made
okay.
appear to
It's okay.
happen. It's an
It's
illusion,
okay.
you
It's okay. It's okay.
fucking
It's okay.
Mongoloid. Are you
Agatho,
that
Agatho,
stupid,
it's
Agatho?
fine. Adam, close, dude, close. Right? We're gonna clip him the hell up. So let's let the recording be clean and
No, because his
concise.
fat ass is
So,
pissing me off. He's
okay,
doing it
nice,
on
Aki,
purpose.
nice, nice. I said let's let the recording be clean and concise, and you say let me open my mic and scream as loud as possible. It's good. So nowhere within the first part of the tafsir or of the narration does it say who. It doesn't say who, right? It says that they crucified something that was made to appear so. So I could say that it could have
Allahu
been
Akbar.
anything. It could have been
It says
an
shay.
illusion.
It
It could
says
have
in
been
Arabic they crucified
immaterial. It could
shay'un.
have been something. It could have been something that immaterial. It could have
But
been some
Aziz,
sort of
does the
appearance,
Arabic say they
right?
crucified a shay, a thing? Is that what the Arabic says with the
So
tafsir?
what does not wait. Onto the right, you
Can
see
you
a who.
answer the
Wait,
question? You
no, it
make
doesn't
claims,
say
but you
no, it
can't
doesn't say
prove
that.
it.
Nowhere
Allahu
within the
Akbar. Allahu
tafsir right here.
Akbar.
Nowhere
Allahu
within this
Akbar.
tafsir. Stop freaking out, dude. Nowhere within this
You just
tafsir.
said they crucified a
Nowhere within this
thing.
tafsir. Brother, stop freaking out. Nowhere within this tafsir does it say who on the left side. On the right side,
It's
there is
he.
another opinion. Brother,
It
stop
says
freaking out.
he. Who's the
On the
he?
other side, wait, on the other side,
Why am
right
I
here, and
waiting? You
Jesus,
can't answer a simple question. Personal pronoun. Who's the
Jesus,
he?
wait, I got you. He right here is referring to Jesus. Are you stupid? He doesn't
He
know no
remained
reading
seven
comprehension.
hours.
Wait, he remained
And
seven
the
hours.
woman came to weep.
Yeah. Look how he
Where was
shot
he at?
himself in the foot. Go ahead, read
It
it, read it.
says he remained 7 hours, and then his mother and the woman came to weep. Where was his mother at?
His
Where's
mother,
his mother at?
yeah, his mother would have been distant, right? And they were weeping. They thought that he had
Oh,
died,
according to
and
Ibn
he remained
Kathir, he
seven
wasn't
hours.
distant.
He didn't even know.
According to Ibn Kathir, he wasn't distant.
He read it completely wrong. Agatha, you read it completely wrong. Blunder. You read it completely
You
wrong.
just said she
He
was
remained
distant.
seven
Ibn
hours.
Kathir
Well,
says
stop
she was at the foot of
interrupting.
the
Stop it.
cross.
I told you to read it, and we let you read it, and we let you give your little
I just read it.
interpretation, and now I'm
It
going to
said,
respond.
where's the
Brother, we
mother
can go
at?
30 seconds each. We can go back and forth. Just behave. So
Can you
he
answer
is
the question?
referring
Where was
to
his mother at?
Isa alayhi salam. Now, Isa alayhi salam, whether he was raised up into the heavens, raised up into the skies, right, put on a different place on earth, right, where there was some sort of illusionary
Couldn't be
nature
another
sustaining
place
to
on
his
earth.
suffering, it's very simple. Right here it says, but
Be
God
another
lifted him
place
up to
on earth.
himself, فَرَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَزِيزًا حَكِيمًا, from the ayat in chapter 4, verse
Rafa'ahu Allah.
158. Right now, right here, but God lifted him up to himself, and they crucified what was made to appear similar to them. He remained 7 hours, right? So I said in the skies, in the heavens, just and then his mother and the woman came to
Where does
weep,
it
but Jesus
say they
came, and God
crucified
has
what
lifted me
was
up to
made? Yeah?
himself, and this is merely something, not someone, something. And this is merely something which was made to appear similar to them. Now, if I was to take the other opinion, listen to this.
Maryam,
If
just
I
to
was to
clarify,
take the
Maryam
other
thought that
opinion
that
on
was
the
her
right
son, right?
side, brother, let me finish. Stop freaking out.
You
If
answer?
I was to take the
Did
opinion,
Maryam think that was her son on the
Stop,
cross?
brother, stop freaking out. Jeez,
I'm your
calm. Control
brother?
yourself. Control
أعوذ
yourself.
بالله من ذلك.
أختي, sister,
Allahu Akbar.
I got
Allahu
you,
Akbar. أنا أخ في
sister,
الإسلام.
مش مشكلة, sister. Okay, right here. Then they put up in a tree in order to crucify him. When they brought him to the tree to crucify him, darkness covered the earth, and God sent the angels who stood between them. And Jesus, the shape of Jesus, was cast upon who? Judas, one of the enemies of Christ. So if I was to say that there's another opinion in which the enemies of Christ were put on the cross, mish mishkila, no problems, no issues, no worries, right? Why is that? Because according to historical traditions, Judas was an enemy of Christ. So even if I say an enemy of Christ was abused on the cross, no problem, right? He deserved
أعطني
it
أي
if he sold out
مفسر
Christ.
من
So you have
المتأخرين
two
ومن
options.
المتقدمين يقول ذلك.
You have two options, yeah, Agatho. It's either A, Judas
أتستطيع
is
أن
the one,
تسألني؟
according to these two opinions. It's either
Where
A,
does he say
there was some
Judas?
sort of evolutionary right here on the right
Where does
side,
Wahib say?
stupid.
Where does Wahib
On
say
the right,
Judas?
on the right side. Then they put up a tree.
Really?
Look at the right side. Look at the
Let's
right
get the
side, brother.
tafsir.
Let's look at the right
Let's get
side.
hold on. Let's
Wait,
get
look
the
at the right.
tafsir.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
check the
screenshot
chain.
it. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna check the
screenshot
chain.
it. I'm gonna screenshot it. Look, he's freaking out and
I
he's
just
all over
said
the
we're
place.
gonna check the
Agatho,
chain for
Agatho,
Wahib's
every single
narration,
time I
right?
debate you, brother, you get nervous. Crazy. You
You
get crazy
answer the
nervous.
question.
Just stop
You willing to
sweating,
check
dude.
the
I
chain
literally just got
for
off
the
my treadmill. I
riwayah
didn't even
عن
get to
Wahib?
go and get my smoothie, and I'm over
Abdul
here
Aziz,
discussing and debating with you. Stop wasting my time and
Abdul
stop
Aziz, are
wasting
you
my breath.
able to
Ya
answer?
ibni.
Do you want to
Ya
address the
ibni.
chain in
Ya
a Thalabi?
احترم نفسك. احترم نفسك. I don't care. We can speak Arabic. I don't care, dude. What the hell? No
And
one
it's
ever
not really
said I
explained
was never
ahead.
a proud, exalted, wannabe Arabic speaker.
Hold on.
Right? I try my
Yeah,
best. So right here on the
This is
right
just
side, then they
great
put,
fun.
please,
alright, for
Gigi,
sure.
Gigi, stop interrupting. Please have
I
Breed,
was
you're a
to
nice
let
guy. Stop
other people
interrupting.
speak as well,
Okay?
man. Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
Too bad. Too bad. Okay? We're in the middle of a discussion. You're asking to speak in the middle of it? Just,
alright, I'm
it's a
out of
little
here.
weird. No, it's okay. It's okay. Some people lack social cues. So he said, where is Judas mentioned? Judas is mentioned on the right side. Then they put up a tree in order to crucify him. When they brought him to the tree to crucify him, darkness covered the earth, and God sent his angels who stood between them. And Jesus, the shape of Jesus, was cast upon Judas, who had pointed him out, and they crucified him instead. So why did you lie, and why did you say Judas wasn't mentioned within any sort of narration, tracing back to Wahb ibn Munabbih?
Simple. Hold on. Let me repeat it. I said Judas is not mentioned amongst any mutaqaddimin because the narration from Wahab from a Tha'alabi is extremely mursal. There's not even a chain that Tha'alabi notes back to Wahab. That's why I said
Where, where are
you want
these
to address the
chains?
chain.
But where are these chains and these interpretations coming from?
I can give you the chain that Ibn
No, but
Kathir
where are these
gives
chains and
to
these
Ibn Abbas.
interpretations? Are
I
they
love
coming? I
how
got you. But are
every
they coming?
time
I got you.
I'm
But are they
about
coming from the Prophet Muhammad
okay, if
sallallahu
you
alaihi wasallam?
interrupt me one more time as I'm answering,
Like,
it's a
like,
concession, dude.
like,
You can't have a
like,
dialogue. Why can't you have a dialogue?
because you're diverting. You said Judas wasn't mentioned. We showed you where
Hold on.
Judas was
I
mentioned,
said
and
Judas is
then now
not
you're trying to
mentioned
change it and say that the account
in
is
any
mursal.
tafsir of the mutaakhirin or mutaqaddimin with a chain because the claim of Judas doesn't exist with the chain. Al-Tha'alabi reports directly from Wahab bila sanad. Is that evidence? No, it's not. But if I give you an authentic sahih, it's sahih marfu' an Ibn Abbas. It goes back to Ibn Abbas. It's so clear that Ibn Abbas narrates what you call the quote substitution theory, بسند صحيح according to Ibn Kathir. If Ibn Abbas, who is Sahabi, your so-called prophet, he prays for them of greater interpretation, he seems like the more proximate interpretation since one, we actually have a chain back to him,
Mhm.
بسند صحيح, with an authentic chain. Two, it's the very fact that it's the most corroborative, specific interpretation given for the ayah. Three, notice how you keep saying a thing, but here's the problem. Things don't get crucified. People get crucified. A thing that is not a person does not get crucified. It's not a shadow or a shade that they spilled the blood of. That's really problematic.
Well, what if I said it was an
Thirdly, is
object?
you didn't answer. Thirdly, you didn't answer the question.
Wait.
Did Maryam believe the one on the cross was her son?
Yeah, I'll answer every single question. Don't interrupt. So first, he's saying that Wahb bin Munabbih, according to Athalabi, is some sort of
Thalabi,
mursal or
Mo
some sort of
Thalabi,
disconnected. Stop interrupting. All right. احترم
Thalabi.
نفسك. احترم نفسك. I was speaking for. I'll let you speak for a minute plus. احترم نفسك. All right. And it's
What's
very
his
simple.
name
I
then,
can
man?
correct you. I can correct you on your Greek pronunciation and your Latin pronunciation. All right. You want to be
Pronunciation,
aesthetic and content.
pronunciation. I
This
think I
guy's
train English
stupid.
too.
That's literally what I said. Okay, so
It's
I think you
pronunciation.
need to behave and muzzle on your lips while I speak. Okay, so this is what Agatho does. Whenever he realizes someone's going to be able to answer his questions, he tries interrupting and he tries diverting and deflecting in any way, shape, or form that he can. So it's very simple. Did Maryam, alayhi salam, did she believe that Jesus was crucified according to this report? Yes, according to this report. For what? 7 hours. And then she was relieved. Right? Just like how multiple, a plethora of different prophets had their people very scared for them. Right? Yunus alayhi salam, when he was in the belly of the well, most likely a lot of people were scared for him. Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was thrown into the fire, most likely a lot of people were scared for him. Right? Musa alayhi salam, when he was persecuted a multitude of times and he had to flee, a lot of people were worried for him. Isa alayhi salam, whenever um, there was some sort of illusionary nature behind his suffering, right? Most likely his mother and her friends were very worried for him and his disciples. Okay, that's an opinion that one can uphold. Now, me saying that it doesn't automatically necessitate that there's some sort of substitution theory from multiple of different reports that come down. All these reports are not connected to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from what we know, even within these tafasir, they're from the Israeliyat. A lot of these traditions they're all from the Israeliyat. They're all from what has come about from different groups and different connections and different traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation, so on and so forth, that have been attested to. Now, either I say Judas was the one who was crucified instead of Jesus, and I can show that from Tafsir al-Tabari as well, right? Or I can quote Wahb bin Munabbih, where he says something took the shape of Jesus, and this guy's a holy blunder. He said that things can't be crucified, rather, persons have to be crucified. Now, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can allow for some object to take a shape or to go through this transfiguration process in which it can appear like a human and it can be crucified. All right? Very simple, very easy, very concise. So I answered all three of your questions. Now I'm going to break it down so succinctly. Okay. He ran away from the first topic. The first topic was, according to history, were the Romans sodomizing their victims. Now he ran away from that and he was like, oh, no way you would say that one of the Hawariyun got sodomized or one of the Hawariyun got assaulted in this specific manner. Right? First of all, even if I said that, even if I granted that, that's not a, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It's nothing crazy. Right? We know a lot of prophets and a lot of their disciples went through the most grotesque and most horrific trials and tribulations. No problem, no issue. But if we're talking about a God, if we're talking about your God, saying your God was sexually harassed by the Roman soldiers because they stripped him down naked, they made sport of him, and they were known for sodomizing their specific victims, then that is something that's, pierces the heart a little bit, right? It's something that makes you a little nervous. It's something that makes a couple butterflies, right, come about in your stomach. It gets you a little nervous and it gets you a little antsy,
Wait,
and everyone can realize that and everyone can understand that. So right here, I'm just going to put in the side chat and let's see if he can respond to that because that was the original argument. Is there probability that Jesus historically, according to their gospels, not according to the Quran, not according to Islam, but according to the gospels, was he one who had some sort of physical or sexual abuse done to him? And we'll read right here from David Toombs. So you can see in the side chat, Fagatho, if you can see in the side chat, based on what the gospel texts themselves indicate, the sexual element in the abuse is unavoidable. An adult man was stripped naked for flogging, then dressed in an insulting way to be mocked, struck, and spat at by the multitude of soldiers before being stripped again, at least in Mark 15:20 and Matthew chapter 27, verse 31, and reclothed for his journey through the city, already too weak to carry his own cross, only to be stripped again a third time, and displayed to die whilst naked to a mocking crowd. When the textual presentation is stated like this, the sexual element of the abuse becomes clear. The assertion is controversial only in as far as it seems startling in view of the usual presentations. The sexual element of the torture is downplayed in artistic representations of the crucifixion that show Jesus wearing a loincloth. These images distance us from the biblical text, perhaps because the sexual element has been too disturbing to confront. Okay? Now, he quoted two Bible verses, Matthew chapter 27, verse 31, and Mark chapter 15, verse 20. Can I say that Jesus was sexually harassed historically according to your Gospels? Just a yes or no, and you can
the
elaborate.
answer is no, because this shows your
Okay.
ignorance. This shows your ignorance because the sexual entailment that they're talking about is in the experience of being stripped naked. That's exactly why the comment, I mean, it's funny, you read it, but you don't understand English. He says the sexual element, which pertains to specifically the nudity aspect, clarifies by saying that's exactly why artistic representations typically depict Christ with a loincloth to hide his sexual appendages. So the sexual element is specifically pertaining to the nudity present in the abuse, not him being sexually abused. It
I
never
got you.
says that whatsoever. That's the problem in your reading. I
No
believe
problem.
it's a form of Islamic illiteracy.
No problem. I got you. So right here, maybe I'm agrammatoi or idiotai, just like the disciples were in Acts chapter 4, verse 13. But right here, you can see in the side chat,
You don't
the
want to
Greek word
contextualize that one.
paezo was used, right, which means to play with. And it's used within the Old Testament whenever it says, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. What was he doing with his
God
wife?
sported
Playing
with
along, fiddling
God
with.
sported with
What was he
Leviathan.
doing? Go ahead. Wait. To play with and to trifle with. Is that the language that's used within Matthew? Go
It's
ahead.
also used in the Psalms with God and
What?
Leviathan. Oh,
Wait.
you don't
When it
know
says
this.
make
You
sport
don't
of
know
him, when it
this.
says make sport of
That
him,
is
wait. When it
problematic.
says make
It
sport of
says
him,
God.
God, okay,
It says
God, okay, when
God.
it
It
makes,
says God
yeah, I
makes
know, but
sport with
contextually,
Leviathan.
brother, but
Why are you
contextually,
interrupting? Why are you interrupting? You
wait,
asked me a question. Let me answer,
but
man.
contextually,
You
because you're
said
trying
about
to
Isaac.
purposely
You
straw
mentioned
man.
Isaac and Rebecca. Hold on. You said Isaac and Rebecca, and we're talking about
Respond to
context.
that.
The context is
Respond
that
to
the
that.
crucifixion is a form of punishment, humiliation related to being pierced and scourged. So the
Okay.
play with here is quite frankly in regards to the fact that they spat at him and mocked him. Well, you can
No
mock
problem.
somebody to play with him, not a problem. To
No
trifle with
problem.
somebody. Well, if you specifically are saying to trifle, in fact, hold on, wait a second. Let me go ahead and analyze this for you as you laugh.
Ah,
Can you please read? Can you please read below
you got it,
specifically
man.
where it says
You
A,
got it. You
where it
read.
says A, right
You
below
read it.
to
What do I
play
look like? Your
trifle with?
butler? What
Can
do
you
I look
read
like?
that?
What do I look like? Your butler? You
No,
read it. It's your point.
the screenshot. It says quote to
Yoo-hoo!
mock.
You read it.
Wait a second.
You read it.
Wait a second. Can you hear that again? To
Yes.
mock. Hold on.
But
Wait a
they already
second. So
mocked.
the
Wait, but they
exact
already
Greek
mo- wait,
term,
but they already
the
they
Greek
already
term,
deeply mocked him.
why are you over
Uh-huh.
talking? Why are you over
Because you
talking?
just told me to
The
read
very
something and I'm
Greek term,
elaborating.
the
Are you
very
serious?
hold on, but no. You said you're
Okay,
not
then
going to
don't
read
ask
it.
me for
You said, "Am I your
anything.
butler?" I'm not going to read it. You
Yeah,
said, "Read it
but yeah,
yourself."
Ibni, you asked me. You said, "What does it say right
You
here?"
got
To
it. You
mock.
got
I'm
to pick
responding
and
to that.
choose. Either you're
Okay.
not going to read it, and you admit it, you're not going to, and therefore let me. You said you read it. Okay, I'm doing
And then
as you
you
told.
said, "What does it say right here?" To mock, and then I'm responding
Right.
to that point.
Right. So you would
Like you
agree
got
the
lodged in the
Greek
back of
term
your
in
throat.
that context means
Like
to
you got lodged in the
mock,
back of your throat.
correct? Is that correct?
Repeat one more time.
Is that is that correct? That the Greek term utilized means to mock.
No, I don't believe that it's univocally meaning mocking, and I believe within the
Okay, here's the
context.
problem with that.
Let me finish.
Here's the problem with that.
I'm gonna
The
respond,
scholar
and
you
I'm gonna
quoted,
respond in
David
full. You've been
Tomes.
speaking for over a
Hold on,
minute.
hold on.
I'm
Wait
gonna
a second.
respond in full. Dude, stop
Hold on,
interrupt. Wait,
hold on.
stop interrupting.
Hold
No, it
on.
doesn't. It doesn't go like
Hold
that.
on.
I'm gonna respond in
It does.
full.
It does.
I'm
It
gonna
does.
respond in full
No,
to
because you
strengthen my
did the same
point.
thing to me.
Stop
You're not
freaking
strengthening
out.
it.
But I'm gonna.
Hold on,
But the
hold on. But
thing is,
I'm
that you
continuing
kept
to strengthen
interrupting.
my
I gave
point.
you a minute plus to speak, and you kept interrupting.
No,
Now
you
I gave you
didn't.
a
No, you
series of
didn't. Yeah,
questions. I let you read it, and I let you try
clarification.
breaking it down. So I'm just gonna
I'm
put this
giving
in
you
the side chat. I'm
clarification.
gonna help you, brother. I'm gonna help you understand.
Does David
Okay?
Tomes
Stop
quote
freaking out.
Matthew 27?
Stop freaking out. You can. I just
David
put it in
Tomes
the
quote
side
Matthew
chat. Look,
27?
man just wants to divert. So Agatho,
Answer.
احترم
Well, it's
نفسك.
not.
Okay. So right here in the side chat, he's saying that there's no sort of sexual connotation behind the word sported with. So let's see in the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 39, verse 17, where we see a multitude of passages. Then she told him his story. This Hebrew slave you brought to us came to me to make sport of me. What does that mean? Right? Genesis 39, to mock me. And he said, I will come to bed with you. Ah, right? And he sported with her and she died when she was with his, or when he was with her, his concubine. So there's a multitude of passages, whether it be the book of Judges, or whether it be the book of Genesis, or whether it be the book of Genesis chapter 26, verse 8 through 9, or the book of Genesis chapter 39, verse 17, where this exact Greek word is used and always implies some sort of sexual connotation behind it. Right? Whether it be one with his wife, whether it be one with his concubine, whether it be Jesus. If I say that Jesus, yes, he was stripped naked, right? And he was dragged around. And the Roman soldiers, historically, we know how much of giyat they were. We know of the practices that they were fiddling with, right? All the way to the point where they were fiddling with your God. Now you see this within the side chat, and you can observe and you can analyze how it says that they sported with her and she died. Oh, they tickled her or they mocked her until she died? No. How do you sport someone till they die? Right? Some sort of abuse, some sort of physical or sexual abuse, and that's the connotation behind it.
No,
Ibni.
that's not what it means.
Okay, well, is
That's not
this
what
not
it
a
means.
possible
Let me
interpretation in
let me
any way, shape,
quote
or form?
let me
Go ahead.
well let me quote Genesis 26 what you said because it actually shows exactly how Isaac sported Rebecca his wife because in the context it actually is quite obvious how he sported her because of the fact that he denied that Rebecca was his wife and called her his sister. So he's saying it in a of course a mocking sense. In fact, that's exactly why the very passage you quoted in Genesis 26 verses 8 to 9 Abimelech is shocked by Isaac's statement by saying Hold of surety, she is thy wife, and how saidst thou she is my sister? So how did Isaac sport Rebekah? Well, Abimelech gives the context by saying, well, what the heck? Why are you calling her a sister? She's your wife. Oh, so there is a way to play with somebody, to joke or to mock, or to not say something seriously.
Wait, for Genesis
Right. And
39,
and
when it
hold on,
says,
I'm not done. I'm
go
not
ahead,
done. I'm addressing what you're saying, and then I'm making my point. By the
quickly.
way, you said I was diverting when I said that David Tomes in the very book that you quoted, not me, quotes Matthew 27. According to the lexicon that you quoted, not me, lexical analysis specifically quotes in regards to the play with or mock, specifically says to
To
mock,
sport
and it
someone,
quotes,
wait, to
quote,
sport
Matthew
someone,
27.
to
Not done
sport
with
someone,
my
put
statement.
in the side chat, to
Not
sport
done with my
someone,
statement.
right? To
It
sport
says,
someone.
quote, A, to mock.
I got
Absolutely. Matthew 2019. Matthew 27:41. Matthew 27:29. The exact passage that David Tomes is quoting in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 27, to mock, according to this lexicon, where he says it means to sport or to play, He's using that in the context of how the Romans treated Jesus Christ on the cross. And according to the lexicon you quoted, the concordance, it says to mock, and the reference it gives is the same chapter, Matthew 27. Therefore, contextually, it means to mock. It also quotes Psalm 103. I wonder why that's the case. Maybe because Psalm 103 talks about how God played or sported with Leviathan. But according to you, to play or to even engage in that
It
Greek
has
act
sexual
always
connotation. It
entails
can have
sexual
sexual
entailment.
connotation behind it, correct?
So
It's
did God
possible
have
that it can
sex
have
with
sexual
Leviathan?
connotation. No, but it's possible that
It
this
can only
word
have sexual
contextually, wait,
connotations.
brother, wait, wait, wait. Like I
It can
said in the
only
beginning,
have it
I let you
if it's
speak.
between the relation
Like
of a
I
man
said
and
in the
wife.
beginning, you just asked me a question. Let me respond. So, no,
I didn't
contextually,
ask you a
whenever
question. I made a
God,
point.
wait, contextually, whenever God is playing with a Leviathan, no one would take any sort of sexual connotations behind that. But when we
Why is
have
that?
someone who's being stripped naked, because
Hold on.
we
Why
have
is
a
that?
context, because we have a context in
Oh,
which
do we have a
God,
context
stop,
in
stop,
Matthew
stop, look,
27?
look, look, remember what I said. He keeps interrupting to try and divert and
Do
to
we have a
try and
context
deflect.
in Matthew
And whenever
27?
someone's going, brother, I didn't do this to you. Right? You would have freaked out. You would have started blaspheming if I did this to you. Just behave yourself. So I'm saying, is there any case or any scenario in which there's a sexual connotation behind this Greek word? Just a yes or no?
Notice how you said sexual
Just
connotation.
a
When
yes
you
or
say
no.
sexual, it's going to be a no in regard.
Okay, I got you. That's all I needed. Sexual connotation, no. So let's see right here in the side chat. Verbs of sexual intercourse in the Greek Pentateuch, a lexical analysis. This article examines the neglected evidence of the Greek Pentateuch for verbs of sexual intercourse. Okay, now let's go to page 236, where we can see the word empazio, which is what is predicated upon Jesus and what happened to Jesus, according to your biblical narrative, grotesque, disgusting, filthy biblical narrative of what happened to a blessed servant of God. Two instances on what happened to your God, accordingly. Two instances of the compound empazio in Genesis 39 are relevant to the present discussion as well. They occur in close proximity to one another in sexual context in the story of Petephras's wife. And both of these, empazio matches the same Hebrew word, the piel. All right. So he lied and he said that there's no sexual connotation that's ever tied to this word. Now we see within the Old Testament, there's multiple
That's
instances in
not
which
what I
there is
said.
a sexual
That's not what
connotation.
I
You said
said. I never
no.
said
You said
in any
no in
context.
context, but I
No,
thought there wasn't a
no, that's
context.
not. That's
So there
not what
is
I
a con.
said.
Wait, so there is a
That
context. I'm gonna
I'm
ask my
not
question
gonna
again.
answer
I'm gonna
without.
ask
I'm
my
not gonna
question
answer.
again. Hey, yeah, stuck. Agatho, is there a context in which impasio can denote some sort of sexual connotation? Yay or nay? Answer the
I'm
question,
going to
son.
answer with clarification. Otherwise, it's a concession on your part. You
Go
cannot
ahead.
interrupt me
Wait.
in my
Answer
full
the
response
question.
because you
But
lied.
too bad you're a
You
hypocrite.
lied
Too bad you're a
because you
hypocrite.
lied because you said
Brother.
I rejected in
You're
all
freaking out.
contexts.
You're freaking
No,
out.
I gave
Go
a
ahead.
direct response by saying I
Yes or
said
no and
it doesn't give
elaborate.
sexual
Yes or
con.
no and
I've
elaborate.
repeated.
Yes or
I'm going to
no and
repeat without
elaborate.
interruption. I'm going to
Yes
repeat
and
without
no or
interruption.
elaborate. Yes or
The
no and
answer
elaborate.
was direct and concise. It specifically was no. It cannot have sexual connotation except
Content.
if
Nice,
it's
man. Stuttering.
except if I said connotation, by the way, not content. Cannot have sexual
Wait, that's
connotation
exactly. You
except in the
stuttered and you said
context.
con, and then you said content
Why are you over
connotation.
talking? Why are you over talking? You
Because you're
complained in mode
stuttering.
when
I'm
I was
trying to
doing it.
correct your English. I'm trying to connect your.
He's
I'm trying
trying
to
to
correct your English,
derail
brother.
because he's a
Stuttering
dirty
is not a
ass
correction of English.
alcoholic.
I get you're embarrassed. I correct
Stuttering.
you.
How the
I
hell does
understand.
one stutter in the word stutter? Stuttering. Look at you.
Don't
Okay,
you
so
live
if you
in
want to play that
Austin,
game, we can play that
Texas?
game.
Shut
Yo,
your
shut up,
Okay,
bitch
shut
ass
this
so
up.
down.
if you mute me one more time for quote
Why are you stuttering
interrupting
so
or
much? Why are
anything
you
like that or
nervous?
stuttering.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take it as concession if you give a personal attack.
Answer the
Is that
question.
fair?
What personal
Is
attack? You were
that
starting
fair?
off with personal attacks.
You just said I can't read English or I'm illiterate. That's your impression,
Look
right?
at you. Look
You
at
just
you,
said
brother. Look
you
at
just
you.
said
You're
you're
barely able
correcting
to
me.
articulate a single
Is
sentence
stuttering a
properly.
correction of an articulation?
Stuttering. Brother, you look bad right now. Can you answer the
Is
question? Is
stuttering
Imposio,
a
does it have any
correction
sort
of
of
an
sexual connotations
articulation?
tied to it?
I can't answer the question unless you can answer the condition of the debate.
What the hell? He's giving a condition so he doesn't have to answer the question. Brother, are you
That's
serious?
because
What
I'm
the
telling
hell?
you, personal attacks are a
Yeah.
concession. I'm here to be cordial
Yeah.
and to address the topic, not talk about you or me.
Wait, Christ anger. I do remember that debate. I'm so glad you sent that to me because I recorded it myself
Christ
whenever
anger.
Agatho blundered 3 times.
Is that how you spell his name? Christ anger or
Yeah, well,
Christianger?
the thing is, I'm scrolling through, and I don't really care
The
for
thing
it.
is, you're illiterate as you attack people for illiteracy.
Oh, Christy. So should I call him Christy Anger?
Christianger or Christianger.
Christian.
That's how you pronounce it.
Continue. Answer the question. Does
Man,
impasio have any sort of
if
sexual
Muhammad was
connotation behind it?
illiterate and that's not an insult, I guess it's an insult every time I call you
Yeah, the
one. I don't get
disciples were
why.
illiterate. They were agrammatoi and idiotai. They were illiterate, dumb,
It's funny
idiotic
because
people, according to the
agrammatoi
Jews'
illiteracy
perspective of
can
them in Acts
pertain
chapter
to
4, verse 13.
comprehension.
Nice,
or
man. And the Prophet
study.
Muhammad SAW came with the most eloquent of scripture, and your gospel writers couldn't even bring about a
Wait,
gospel
you
without
you
a
said the most
multitude of
eloquent?
contradictions and a
You
multitude of
said
historical
you said the most
inaccuracies.
eloquent? You said the most
The most
eloquent? You
eloquent
can't
of
even read
scriptures.
what he said. How are you
The
saying it's
most
eloquent?
eloquent of scriptures. Yes, I could read what he
You
says.
can't
Alhamdulillah.
even read
Alhamdulillah was
what
raised
he
upon.
wrote in the
Alhamdulillah was raised
Quran.
upon. Alhamdulillah was raised upon memorization. Right? Whenever it
Alhamdulillah,
comes to reading something
alhamdulillah,
directly, whenever it comes to
alhamdulillah.
reading something, this guy, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's okay. No one needs to mute him. No one needs to mute him. We need him to answer the question. Right? Because he's freaking out. Because the only thing that he's trying to result in, and then he said, no more personal attacks or I'm going to leave the VC. Proceeds to call my prophet illiterate in a mockery sort of tone, and then
I
proceeds
didn't say
to
that.
try and make
I
fun of
didn't
my
say in a
Arabic.
mocking tone.
Right?
I
He said,
said
can you answer the question?
Arabi. Oh
Can you answer the
boy,
question?
Arabi.
Can you answer the question?
I'll
Or
answer it
waiting?
if you can. By the way, you also
If you can
lied.
stop stuttering, maybe you can answer the
You also
question.
lied again. You said that if we give personal insults, I'll leave. I said no, it's a concession. I didn't say I'll leave. So you're actually stupid.
Okay, so did you concede with your personal insults against my Arabi?
What was my personal insult?
I just qualified it against my
I just said
Arabi.
it's not how it's. I just said it's not how it's pronounced.
Brother, stop stuttering and answer the question. So remember, he said that there's
Just
no
answered
sexual
it.
connotation
I just
behind the word
answered it.
empasio. Okay, is there a sexual
No, that's
connotation
not what I
behind the
said.
word
That's not what
empasio
I
depending
said.
on the context?
That's
Depending on the context, can there be a
if the
sexual
context is
connotation behind
between
the
a
word
man and
empasio?
wife in bed, then it can mean that. If it's outside the context of a man and wife in the sexual act itself, which the text would have to expressly state, then it can never mean that.
So let's see in the side chat. Wait, let's see in the side chat. So right here, we have two examples, two instances of the
But you
compound
didn't answer
empasio in
my
Genesis
question about
39 are
David
relevant
Tomes.
to the present discussion as well.
You didn't
They
answer my
occur
question
in
about
close
David Tomes.
proximity with one another in
Do you
sexual
agree with
context of the
David Tomes
story.
that when he says sexual, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean relations?
Stop interrupting. Stop interrupting.
I need you to
So you
address
said
what I
that there was
asked you
no
earlier. You didn't
you
address
said
it.
that there was no sexual connotation. So this guy is literally stripping the
That's
meaning
not what I
behind any
said.
word.
That's
Stop
not what I
interrupting.
said. You're
You said
lying
only
now.
a sexual connotation. I'm gonna finish. You said that there was no sexual connotation, basically, with using and utilizing this word other than a situation when one is in bed. Now I'm telling you historically, from what we know pertaining to the book of Judges uses this word to talk about how someone was grotesquely raped, right? Grotesquely raped, even to the point of death. Now, within Jesus' time, he got stripped completely. They made sport of him, empazio. They mocked him. They belittled him. They tortured him. They disfigured him. They dishonored him. They stripped him naked. They played Barbie's life in the dream house, brother. They played Barbie's life in the dream house. They kept dressing him up in robes. They would strip him naked and then dress him up in another robe, laugh at him, mock, strip him naked
Crazy.
again and again and again, and
You're
engage in this
benefiting.
form of mockery or in this form of abuse. Now, that's very simple and that's very clear and that's very concise. Now, when we see in the side chat, he said that there was no sexual connotation behind the word, right? In any sort of context, he was completely wrong. And he realized he blundered. And when he started bringing other contexts in which God is playing with the Leviathan, he's like, oh, does that mean that God raped the Leviathan? Well, obviously not. When we're talking about a specific instance on earth where there's any sort of abuse coming about with someone being harassed in the terms of them being stripped naked, and from the historical point of view, we know that the Romans were engaging in multiple forms of sexual abuse to a lot of their victims, right? They were people who would sodomize, right, just like yourself. And we have instances in which they would do this historically, so we can easily make that correlation, that connection. And I could just say very simply, the most I'll grant you is that we say and we use calmer language that he was sexually harassed, just like how you would say if there was anyone who was taken to the streets stripped naked, right, and dragged around and mocked and belittled and hung up and being pushed and shoved and being grabbed from their legs while they're butt booty naked and getting grabbed from their arms while they're butt booty naked, you would say that this is a form of sexual harassment. Correct or incorrect? Would that be a form of sexual harassment?
If what
Correct
you're
or
defining
incorrect?
if what you're defining as sexual harassment is that an individual is undergoing torments while in the nude, if that's what you mean, then
Being
yeah.
pushed around,
Is
being
that
dragged,
is
being
that
grabbed, being
hold
whipped, and everything of the
on.
sort.
Hold on. I'm
Yes.
gonna ask a question.
But I'm
I just answered your
clarifying the
question.
definition.
I don't need your clarification. I just gave
So
you a
yes,
simplistic
sexual
definition that you would
harassment,
agree to.
correct? Yes, sexual harassment, correct?
I just answered with qualification. Can you repeat back my answer?
So you said with qualification, you said if you mean by sexual harassment in which one is being abused in a specific manner in which they are nude, right? Then I would
Specific
qualify it as
manner.
yes. You
I
would
didn't
say
use
yes,
that phrase,
correct?
abused in a specific manner. I
You would
said if
say
he's
yes.
abused in
You would
any
say yes.
manner
Sexually
while in the
harassed.
nude.
Okay. Abused in any manner. I forgot the in any manner. Nice, man. You want me to rephrase every single word or just the idea behind what you said? Right? Because I'm not some sort of copying
Let,
machine.
let me
So
let
it's
me
very simple.
demonstrate.
So
You
yes, he was
agree?
sexually
You,
harassed, correct?
I
According
don't
to
know
that
why you're gonna.
definition, he was
Why are you
sexually
over
harassed
talking?
according to that definition.
I
Wait, because
already,
I wasn't
I
finished. Because I
already.
wasn't finished. I'm sorry, brother, I wasn't
Okay.
finished.
If you
He was
interrupt me
sexually
one more
harassed
time by
according to
repeating
that
the question as
definition,
I
right? He was sexually harassed according to that definition with qualification, correct?
answer no questions if I can get it, unless
Well,
I
he
can
can't
get it
answer the
without
question. He's
interruption.
stuck. He's stuck because he didn't answer the question.
I
He didn't
just
say yes or
answered
no.
without
So
interruption because if you
I got
interrupt
you.
with repeating the
I
answer,
got
then
you.
it's not
So
a
was he
question worth
sexually
answering.
harassed with that qualification? Yay or nay? Go ahead.
Qualification that I gave positively, excluding sexual
Okay. There you
penetration,
go. There you go.
is that correct?
Okay. So when I said that Jesus was sexually harassed, and you were like,
Why
"Oh
are
my
you
God,
over
blasphemy,
talking me?
blasphemy!" Shut the snout. Shut the snout. Whenever I was speaking to your friend Zizzy, who was trying to dox information about me, who was trying to talk shit about my sisters, who came blaspheming very weirdly. This guy's obsessed with me, and I said, okay, we can engage in some type of discussion. And he was trying to say the El Zut argument and everything of the sorts, and I said, okay, and I refuted it with no hesitation. And I immediately said, okay, according to your gospels, right? We believe that prophets can endure trials and tribulations, but do you believe that your God was sexually harassed? And then he comes to you and he says, oh, you're blaspheming. He comes to you, like try to save him. Oh, this guy, AN, this is the same guy that blasphemed. And we have you right now on clip saying, yes, Jesus was sexually harassed according to your qualified definition. Okay, brother, if you want to believe in a God who was sexually harassed, go ahead. All to you, man. All to you. Inshallah, you get put in the deepest pits of hellfire, but all to you. Can't say no one didn't warn you. You can't say that this aligned with your fitrah. You can't say that this was something that was innate. You can't say that this is something that you inclined towards or you had some sort of natural proclivity towards. Okay? All to you, man. Believe in it. You believe that your God was sexually harassed with the qualified definition that you gave. Nice, man. Thumbs up, pat on the back. So it's very simple. Now I want to get into something more substantial. Historically, do we have early followers, right, of a multitude of congregations in which they denied the death of Jesus? Just yes or no. Let's progress into something more substantial.
Congregations of who? Christians?
Congregations of people who claim to be Christian.
He
Yes,
didn't. He didn't answer. Okay, so you mean Gnostics who denied that they were Christians? Is that what you
I
mean?
did.
Because they denied they were Christians.
Wait. So these people all believe that they were connected to Peter or to
I'm not
Matthias.
hearing an
Wait,
answer. I'm not
I
answering.
got
I'm
you.
not
I got
answering
you.
unless you can answer
So
that.
I
Are you
got. Wait.
referring to
Stop
Gnostic
freaking out.
sects who denied the title Christian?
No, I would say Jewish Christians.
Okay, so the Ebionites denied the crucifixion.
I would say that yes, according to early
Okay,
Ebionite
can you give me
belief.
one? Can you give me one attestation from any contemporary of the Ebionites that said that they believe that?
I got you, no problem. Do you believe the Ebionites were existing around the time of Ignatius of Antioch?
Can you just
I got you.
demonstrate
I'm
the
saying I'm
point?
saying if you I'm saying if you believe this is contemporary, dude, just
Oh
listen.
my goodness
Do you believe
gracious!
I'm
Can you
gonna give
just
you the source. The
answer?
source is in the side chat. Do you believe that
Okay,
Ignatius was living
so you're gonna
contemporary
quote me
to Ebionite?
Ignatius. Hold on, you're gonna quote me
Do you believe
Ignatius
Ignatius wait,
saying,
listen. Do
"Oh
you
my
believe
goodness,
Ignatius listen to
it's
the
a
question, dude.
simple
Listen to the question.
question. You
Agatho,
have somebody
brother. Oh my god, he
contemporary
just asked me, are these
to
people
the Ebionites.
contemporary? He just asked
Why
me if
do
these are
you
these people
insist?
contemporary. I'm gonna see his interpretation on
I
who was
didn't just
contemporary.
ask that question. I
Brother, I
said,
don't
do you
know. I
have
don't know if you
someone
hold the opinion as
contemporary?
Ebion.
Do you
Uh-huh.
have someone contemporary who attests that they denied, meaning they actually expressed that they denied Christ was
Yes.
crucified?
The Jewish Christians, the
Okay,
Judaizers, yes, they're
so show
denying it.
me where Ignatius says the Ebionites did
The Jew
deny
who wait,
Christ
are
was
the
crucified. Not that
Ebionites?
they
I
deny
got
he
you.
was God.
I got you, no problem. Are the Ebionites Judaizers? Just yes or no. Put the source in the side chat.
That's an obfuscation because they're
Are the
not
Ebionites
Judaizers, as in
Judaizers?
you're a Judaizer. I can apply the
He got a
definition
vibrator
very
stuck in the
generally.
back of his throat. Are the Ebionites Judaizers? That's
Why
what
are
they're
you a
most well known
sodomite?
for. That's
Why
what
would
they're
you
most
why
well known for. Yoo-hoo! That's what they're most well known for. Are they Judaizers? Yes or no?
I kid you not. This is a repeating of
Is
the scripture.
are the Ebionites Judaizers? Yes or no?
asking me whether or not they believe circumcision was
Yeah, this
necessary?
is horrendous. Oh my! I answered your question for qualification. Now I want you to answer my
I just
question for
answered. If what you mean
qualification.
by Judaizer is simply in a generalistic sense, not a specific sense, yes.
What does
How's
that
that
mean?
relevant?
In a generalistic
How
sense,
is
not a
that
specific sense. Well,
relevant
how
to
can it be
your
specifically
claim?
applied? Wait, how can it be
How is
specifically
that
applied?
relevant?
Brother,
I
what the
just told you.
hell? Wait, what the
I'll
hell?
tell
Oh
you
my
how it's
god.
specific. I'll
Wait,
tell you how it's
look how
specifically
bad
applied.
this brother, this
I'll
looks so
tell
bad
you
for
how
you.
it's. Why are you over talking me as I'm
Wait,
answering?
I'm
You just
asking
asked me a
you,
question.
according to the specifics, how are the Ebionites qualified as
What are the
Judaizers?
specifics?
The
What are the
Jew, okay,
specifics? Let's hear the
beautiful,
specifics.
beautiful. I'll answer the question because you know nothing about the Ebionites. So the Ebionites were qualified as
You can't even
Judaizers
quote me
because they
what you
were.
claimed.
Stop interrupting, dude. You just asked me a question.
You interrupted
Stop
me the whole
interrupting. Oh my gosh, stop
Fine, man. Are
interrupting.
you serious?
Stop
Are you
brother,
serious?
stop
Did you
interrupting.
interrupt? Did you
What the
interrupt?
hell? He
Did
just
you
asked me a
interrupt?
question. He just asked me a
And
question.
you asked me a
You
question
said
and
you
you
give me the
interrupted.
I know,
So
I
what's
know,
your
and you
argument?
retorted by reflecting the
Oh,
question
Allahu
onto me.
Akbar, Allahu
What
Akbar,
the hell?
Muhammad Asghar.
Oh my gosh, this khanzir, this kelb, this khani can't stop and can't contain himself. He asked me, "What are the Judaizers according to you?" And I said, "I'm going to give the definition, right? Because you don't know anything. You don't know a lick about the Ebionite sect, right? Or the early Judaizers and how they were qualified as Judaizers. So the Judaizers were making the Gentiles abide by specific Mosaic customs, laws, stipulations, and guidelines, and everything of the sorts. If anyone has background noise, mute yourself. So whenever the Ebionites were telling the Gentiles that they had to go circumcise, this was something that qualified them as Judaizers. Whenever they were upholding Mosaic law and stipulations and guidelines and were looking to the law for any sort of salvific redemption, they would be qualified as Judaizers by virtue of the definition that Ignatius of Antioch brings. Now, Ignatius of Antioch, in his letter, I'm going to put it in the side chat, his letter to the Magnesians, chapter 9, we're going to read it together. Yo, Christ anger, spam the video more. He got belted in that discussion. So we have seen how former adherents of the ancient customs have since attained to a new hope, so that they have given up keeping the Sabbath, and now order their lives by the Lord's day, instead the day when life first dawned for us. Thanks to him and his death, that death, though some deny, is the very mystery which has moved us to become believers. So who was he writing the letter of Magnesians to? Yo, Ghostwriter, mute yourself, please.
I
Oh
think
my
it
God.
was actually he was actually writing
Who
it
was
to
writing?
Sneeko,
Please,
to
please,
Sneeko,
please.
right?
Shut
He
up.
was writing
Shut up.
to fellow believers. But notice how you
Wait, wait,
said
wait,
it's
wait,
about
wait.
the
You wait,
Ebionites.
wait,
Why are you over
wait,
talking?
wait,
Why are you over
wait,
talking?
wait, wait. Right here, you just
Interrupt
lied.
me one
So
more
he
time.
writes.
I'm going to accept it
Wait.
as a
He
concession.
writes to a church.
Because
You keep doing that to run
you
away.
just
You keep doing
said,
that to run
he
away.
said
You keep doing that to run away.
specifically the
Huh?
Ebionites denied Christ was crucified. I want to see the word
Huh?
Ebionite. That's a full word
Wait,
where
wait,
he
wait, wait,
says
wait. The
that. You
Judaizers. Wait, the
can't produce
Judaizers.
that.
Wait, the Judaizers. Did the Judaizers deny
Why
Jesus'
are you
death?
saying Judaizers?
The
Why are you saying
Judaizers.
Judaizers?
The Judaizers, because
That's
the
not
Ebionites historically,
specific.
because
It's
this
not
guy is,
specific
oh my
enough.
God, this guy
It's
is
not
slow.
specific enough
So wait,
because
wait. Who are the
Judaizers is not the
Judaizers? Wait,
same thing as every
Were these
Ebionite.
Gnostic
Because
Judaizers? Were these Gnostic Judaizers?
hold on, you're talking
Oh,
about Judaizers
hold on.
as
He
if
can't answer. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. You're caught. You're caught. You're caught. Because he knows. He wasn't expecting this. He's never seen this a day in his life. Right? And I was, oh my gosh, I've been waiting to belt you with this quote. Ignatius here tells you that there's Judaizers who are going around who are professing Christ Jesus and they are Judaizing and that they denied the death of Jesus. Now, who is he referring to? Gnostic Judaizers, you dumbass, if that even exists, or the
I'll tell
Ebionites
you who he's
who
talking
John
about.
was writing his gospel against them?
I'll tell you who he's talking about.
Who? Hurry up.
The
Tell me what
Nicolaites.
ChatGPT says. Hurry up.
The Nicolaites. The
And
Nicolaites.
oh, beautiful. Where does he say Nicolaites?
He doesn't say Ebionites either. So what's your
Ah,
argument?
so wait. So why are you holding to that standard? Why were
Hold
you
on,
holding to
because of
that
the fact that
standard?
I'll tell you why.
Why were
I'll
you
tell you why.
holding to
Because
that?
you've
Wait.
made.
Why were you holding to that standard? Now look at that. Now
I'll
look at
answer.
that.
I'll
Wait, he
answer.
just said Nicolaites. Okay. Where?
I'll
Where?
contextualize it historically. I'll contextualize it historically because John the Apostle, who
Okay.
Ignatius was a contemporary of, condemned the Nicolaites for the very Judaizings being present.
I got you. I got you. Did John write his gospel
So
against the
can
Ebionite
you
heresy as well? Wait, did John
the
write his gospel against the
gospel?
Ebionite heresy?
The
Yes.
gospel,
Did
talking
John
about the
write his
book of
gospel?
Revelation. The gospel
Did
doesn't
John write his
have the
gospel? I'm
Nicolaites in
saying
it.
John. The same author of the book of
I'm
Revelation
not
is.
talking about
Wait,
John's gospel. I'm
do you
talking about
believe
his
it's the same?
apocalypse.
I got you. But we're still saying we're talking about
I'm not
contemporary
going to
writings.
jump topics.
Wait, but we're talking about contemporary writings of the first century. So you said that the book of Revelation, John was trying to condemn the Nicolaits. Okay. Now I want a historical source for that, where any scholarly commentary or any church father says that the heresy of the Nicolaits was them denying the death of Jesus, and they were qualified as Judaizers. So it was the Nicolaits who were denying Jesus' death. Oh, look how he ran away. Look how he ran away. Look how he ran away. Oh my gosh. Horrendous. Yo, Christ anger. Oh, look, Christ anger. All his butt buddies flock with him. Right? Freaking out. So who can actually respond to this? Who can actually respond to this? Who can actually respond to this? See how he panicked. He's never seen this quote in his life. Early Jewish Christians, people who had proto-Islamic beliefs who denied the death of Jesus. He couldn't respond to it. He couldn't respond to it. All right. So every single 2 seconds, if he's going to interrupt, and I know he has a kink for blasphemy, I'm just going to muzzle him. Yeah. It's caught in 4K. Yeah. Shut up. So, alhamdulillah, we have historical attestation for anyone who doesn't understand. We have historical attestation. They'll say that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, he's the one who came with this belief that Jesus wasn't crucified. And he innovated and he lied about history. Rather, we have this belief that's solidified within the first century according to their church fathers. Their church fathers were trying to combat this view. Right? When the Quran says, وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا, right? They had ikhtilaf pertaining to what had happened. And وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُم. It appeared so to them, and they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. Obviously, we get that historically. The Quran says that they had ikhtilaf, that they had differences of opinion. Then the Quran says, مَا لَهُم بِهِم مِّنْ عِلْمٍ. Right? They didn't have ilm, they didn't have proper knowledge regarding what had happened. And they ended up following dhan, conjecture, hearsay. The Quran even says that they had shak, doubt. That's what you see historically from their fathers and a multitude of others. Horrendous. Horrendous. Right? This guy's insufferable. Right? Any single time I join his rooms, he automatically mutes me and bans me. But I saw him peeping here, so I decided to give him the little belt. Yeah, I hope Christ the Anchor posts that too. But Ghostwriter, did you record it or no?
Yeah, I got all of it.
I got you. There you go. That's good, man. Right? So we got him on clip.